I'm Rosaline Hagai for Newswire. I'm here at the National Library and I'm just about to check out the Young Cartoonist Exhibition. I'm a visual person, so I'm excited to see what makes a great cartoon. Hi, I'm Rosa.
Hi, I'm Melinda. Come through.
So why does the National Library have cartoons?
I think cartoons are an important part of the publication that's happening in any country. And so here at the New Zealand Cartoon Archive at the Alexander Turnbull Library, we are trying to collect them, to look after them, to preserve the digital files in particular, but also to look after the heritage cartoons. And one of the really important jobs that we do is we describe them today. So we have a team of people who work on providing context for those cartoons, so that if we do that now when it's readily understandable, they're going to be of more value to researchers in the future.
And so how has cartooning changed over time?
I think in New Zealand we go from the earlier cartoons, which were quite stiff, quite laboured, lots of line drawing, making quite serious points, through to that period of the Bromheads and the Brockies, where sort of New Zealand cartooning came of age, I guess. And I think now with these young cartoonists we're seeing a whole sort of other generation emerging again. We staged this exhibition wondering whether or not there was a future for cartooning in New Zealand. Some of our established cartoonists are on record as saying that they think there's no future for cartooning, and I very much think that's not true, and I think this exhibition proves that.
So that next in line competition, where did the idea come from?
I suppose I'd been very conscious, having been involved with the Cartoon Archive from the beginning, back in 1992, that the cartoonists in this country are getting older and older, and they all have long careers, which is interesting given that doing cartoons every day, as many of them do, is pretty stressful. But they have careers of 30, 40, 50 years, and I was conscious that many of the current crop of cartoonists are getting quite elderly, and we talked for some time about the possibility of trying to attract younger cartoonists, but hadn't done anything about it. And it was really at the Canon Media Awards last year, I was talking to the editor of The Listener and telling her that I was concerned about this, and we sort of concocted on the night the idea that we and the Listener would get together and hold this competition, and which we did, and it's been a great success, and we've found new talent, and they're getting work. And so it's been, that's been very satisfying. As a general sort of thing, you could say that maybe young people today are not as interested in politics, and if they're interested in drawing, they tend to go into comics and other sort of related areas. And but I guess the competition was encouraging in the sense that a lot of the people who put work in clearly had a good understanding of politics, and they were interested in doing cartoons. I mean, quite a few of them do comics and things as well. But I think that that there's going to be, I think and believe there's going to be a scope for cartoons about politics and social issues for a long time to come. I mean, they mightn't always be in newspapers, they might be online, they might be appearing in different ways, but I think it's an important form of communications where you can put across quite complex ideas in a very simple kind of a way, and make very strong points. And again, there's a tradition in the newspaper world that the cartoonists can say things in their cartoons that they wouldn't write about. If they wrote about some of those things, they'd be in court. But cartoonists are able to actually make these points. So I think it's good. It's good for democracy. It's good for freedom of speech, and I think it's an important kind of medium.
So where did you get this idea?
Current affairs.
Current affairs?
Yes. It was a competition for the Listener Young Cartoonist competition. So it was just you take a look at the news, see what grabs your attention. There's a lot of fiasco going on about Sky City and John Key trying to get more money out of it. I started playing around with lots of visual elements, and suddenly you had the Sky Tower and John Key, and with caricatures and cartoons, it's all about blowing things up and exaggerating them. So I just kind of put the two together, and next thing you know, you had John Key hanging off the Sky Tower like King Kong, and happy coincidence, it kind of came out looking like a giant phallic Sky Tower, and John Key's having a good ride there.
So what makes a good cartoonist?
What makes a good cartoonist? Someone who really enjoys what they do, and enjoy a good laugh, or making people laugh, getting an opinion from people, those kind of things. I'm someone who never used to follow the news like very much for an artist, originally, but now I'm quite enjoying following it. So I think, having an interest and an opinion in current affairs, things like that, pretty straightforward.
And so how relevant is cartooning today for young people?
I can only talk about myself and my friends personally. It had always been under my radar. Like if you'd asked me 6 months ago if I was going to be doing cartoons for a newspaper or a magazine, I probably wouldn't have really, put any money on it. But now that's just come about, it seems like quite a valid way to go. It's a great way to, connect with the audience, because it's usually tackling opinions that are, current. So and then it's really fun because there's such a history of it. It's like modern humour, art history all mixed together. You can go back through just the archives here at the National Library and just see this incredible history of New Zealand with this kind of twisted sense of humour. It's pretty good.
So lastly, what's the most popular cartoon in the exhibition, and why is that?
I don't know if there is one that's universally popular. The thing with cartoons is that they strike different chords in different viewers. So I think everyone's going to have their own response to each work. Mm-hmm. And the way we've put the exhibition together, we want people to have their own response. We're asking viewers to try and read the cartoons themselves and come up with what they think it is the cartoonist is saying. And so everyone is going to have a different response to each work.
Hi there, so what's your favourite cartoon?
My favourite cartoon is Hamilton the Piss, because that's the stereotype Hamilton gets, and I think the person has portrayed it quite well.
So what's your favourite cartoon here?
Oh, I like this one. It's Kim Jong-un, and he's doing his own version of Gangnam Style, and it's kind of funny.
So hi there,
Hi.
What's your favourite cartoon here?
This one.
Why?
He's got a funny haircut. No, I just like it because it sort of illustrates what he's like, or what the perception of he is. Just a sort of little kid running a country, effectively.
Cool, and so how is cartooning relevant for today?
It's a good way to portray what people are thinking in just a fun, unorthodox manner.
So what's your favourite cartoon in here?
This is my favourite cartoon, the job market thing.
I'm trying to think of probably what the favourite one would be, because they're all so different, and I guess it's all quite evident of what issues people and the young people who made the cartoonists actually thought, because I guess being a history major at university, I don't necessarily come in looking at which is my favourite, and it's more coming and be like, what are the issues that are being shown and what's missing even. But I guess if I was to pick a favourite, I guess I'm almost with the house crisis, like the zombie one, or as another running up, the student worst nightmare with the student market, because I guess for me, I'm just about to finish university. It's moving on to that next stage in life, and they've really captured wonderfully satirically the actual issues that are facing many people of my generation and people at the same stage of life as myself.